How's it going? So I think the loudness of this group could have beat Quest Field the other day, don't you? So let's hear a really loud cheer. Ready, set, go! Yeah! So now be quiet and listen, okay? Can you do that? So we're One to the World. I'm John Vadino.
Jackie Borges, nice to meet you.
And we're here to show you technology that's been out in the market for a while, but we've just kind of added a really cool segment to it. So I want to ask you a question. I see a day. How many of you folks have kids in college? Raise your hand. I have 2. Would it be interesting if in 6 months of the year, your kid went to school, interacted with people, and 6 months a year they interacted online and learned and still interacted with people? That means they would live with you at home for 6 months a year, right? But we could double the number of kids in college overnight. Build no more dorms, no more labs, overnight. So there's companies out there, Coursera and others, that are doing that, but they need a platform, and we built that platform.
I see a day when you have video driving your website interaction instead of the other way around, where you can choose the websites that show up, the contact forms, all based on what's showing up in the video.
I see a time where every corporation has their own broadcast channel in the cloud where they can interact with customers, employees, and their partners. And finally, I see a time when political candidates of today, and I'm talking about DC, could get their message across in their own channel as opposed to the channels we watch on TV today, Fox and CNN. And we need that, don't we? So this is why we built One to the World. Raise your hands if you've watched a webcast, a webinar, or a podcast. And everybody better raise their hand or you got to leave this meeting because you're not really part of this world. Right? Raise your hand, I'm serious.
All right,
Did I say raise your hand?
Keep it. So raise your hand if you've seen a webcast, and then keep it up if you've been able to watch a YouTube video for more than 5 minutes.
Okay, so now you've dropped a bunch of hands. Now tell me if you've been able to interact with that video and send an email or answer a poll. Drop your hands. Okay, so everybody except one. What the hell have you been doing? All but one dropped their hand, and that's the tool we built. You've been watching a commercial on it for the last minute.
He's the one to the world beta test.
Yeah. You've been watching this for about a minute. This is our commercial. It shows all the interactivity that we do. And we built this because I have another company that does events for like Boeing and Microsoft, and we did this 787 premiere about 5 years ago where we had 1 million IP addresses watch for 45 minutes. And the reason they could watch is we interacted with them. And that made it interesting, and they could last longer than those 5 minutes. Our tool has no proprietary hardware. It's all in the cloud, all on Amazon AWS.
Right, and this is an HTML5 client that you can interact with.
This is an actual on-demand webcast.
Yes. Here we're learning about foods. And so anyway, you can see how you can interact with web pages. And those web pages might be contact forms, or they might be all kinds of coupons, whatever is appropriate, an e-commerce site, whatever is appropriate for whatever the person's talking about. You can coordinate the two.
You can also hit our interactive button and answer polls, answer questions, answer test questions, push URLs, anything that you like to do, you get to do as the producer, and I, as the user, get to change that screen. What's unique about this is we study learning. And if you have a visual and an oral stimulus, you pay attention and you learn 18% better than you do if you just have visual or just have oral. And that's what we built. So you've been watching this in the screen. This is a little cooking thing we did. And the most important part is this is all up in the cloud. And that video truck that all of us have seen, that when you go to a sports event, they got all those cameras and they got to go in this big gigantic truck and they got to switch that live. That's all in the cloud. It's a drag and drop browser. All those cameras, all of those interactive pieces are all in the cloud, drag and drop, push record, and you're done.
Here's the best part about training. If you double your age, that's how many minutes it takes to learn how to use this tool.
So that's not me. That does not include me. It includes most of you here. And Jackie. Not you either. So it's simple. Again, and we want to thank Red and Green, and we're sorry Red can't be here. Red. And let me ask you one more thing. Finally, we're searching for talented Ruby devs. Who knows a Ruby dev? Good God. All right, I'm going to give you my card back there, young man. I'm watching you. And we're looking for Ruby devs to add to our team. And then finally, I really, really strongly believe if you read our business plan, if you talk to our investors, which we have many, I don't talk about education because it's a really weird market and it's not a place that you can go make dollars. But I believe in education, and I truly, truly, truly believe that we can double the number of kids in college, drop the rate by half, schools will make the same, and more kids in this country and this world will be educated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.